When you want to talk about people destroying democratic institutions, I would argue that
you'd have to fucking go over to the speed and you have to bump it up. And then you get classic Destiny, right?
people destroying democratic institutions, I would argue that probably one of the most important institutions that we have in the United States.
David Pladman is having a debate. He's the arbiter. He's the debate referee. Destiny and Dennis Prager debate. Destiny's also going for a rebrand of his name too. We'll get to that in a second, but let's start off with this first clip. This is called The Power of the Vote. Let's hear what this is about.
That illiberal people are a danger to society. Right now, there's only one very popular illiberal candidate. That is easily Donald Trump. When you want to talk about people destroying democratic institutions, I would argue that probably one of the most important institutions that we have in the United States is the vote.
That is the idea, isn't it? Especially on the Democratic Party, the Democratic ticket. That is the idea of voting, because it's just an idea. You don't actually vote on the Democratic Party, right? The party that loves to rig all of their primaries. Have they ever had a real one? This one, they just said, the fuck, we're not even going to act like it. We're just going to Kamala, black and a woman, which is nowhere a DEI hire. It's the opposite of what that means. So this is my first point. Destiny's an idiot. He brings up a point and completely says, it's just about the vote. When did anyone vote for Kamala? No one's ever voted for her, by the way. And hopefully that continues. Let's check this out. We've got immunity.
Destroying institutions are whether or not you list birth on a on a birth certificate, whether or not you list the sex or the Boy Scouts or music or art or architecture. I think that threats to our democracy or the liberal order, I think, are far more evident when you look at the Republicans' attacks on our judicial system, on giving the executive branch, for instance, the power to have criminal immunity when the president takes certain acts.
They act like this is a Trump-only deal. Okay, let's go arrest Obama. Let's go arrest Obama then. Let's arrest him and put him in jail for all the drone strikes and attacks. They take one thing, like a little bitty insurrection, and throw it in your face for the rest of your life. I'm just joking. It was a riot. I think that's what they decided, right? January 6th was a riot. Hell of a time. Not even a bad one, too. It's so funny the way they talk about this stuff. What about the entire summer of 2020 when there was just every city being burned to the ground because of black people? And it wasn't black people doing it, too, by the way, guys. It was white people. So let's not freak out and do crazy stuff. I'm saying stupid white people like Destiny. He's the one doing that kind of stuff, is what I meant to say. Okay, 1425.
He perceived attacks from the left.
What about that, Dennis? Because I hear Stephen arguing that there's...
Stephen, a Destiny rebrand? That's the way to go. This guy's actually not stupid. When you get canceled or whatever they call it, just change your name. Then you're not canceled anymore. And he's just like, well, I don't have gay blue hair and my name's Steven. I don't know who Destiny is. Check this out. Let's go back to that first clip. Watch this. Look how he's talking too. Listen.
When you want to talk about people destroying democratic institutions, I would argue that probably one of the most important institutions that...
I mean, he still has that faggy slur. So you know it's him. But really what you would have to do, you'd have to fucking go over to the speed. And you have to bump it up. And then you get classic Destiny, right?
People destroying democratic institutions, I would argue that probably one of the most important institutions that we have in the United States is the vote, is the idea, the concept of the peaceful transfer of power.
That's classic Destiny. There it is. Okay. 1435.
No, because Donald Trump was president for 4 years. And we had far more freedom under Donald Trump than under Joe Biden.
How so?
We can give...
Why is David answering like... He's the arbiter, but he's clearly on one side. Obviously, we know he's on a specific side, but why is he helping Destiny? Oh, because Destiny sucks. Right. Okay. 1644.
Even answer. And I think, to be fair, Dennis, I'm just kind of an arbiter here. Some of the things you mentioned with regard to masks and vaccines, I believe they happened while Trump was president, not Joe Biden. But I'll let Stephen, if he wants to address that.
You will? Because it seems like you're running the show for Destiny right now. Is he reading off of cue cards that you gave him? What's happening with this debate, Pladman? Why are you rigging your debates?
January 5th, 2021. What was the illiberalism from Trump?
I would argue that the illiberalism from Trump was Trump's inability to work with Congress and trying to usurp as much power in the executive as possible to do things unilaterally as the executive without getting any kind of.
Listen to how these guys talk. He just says words that make him seem like he's making a point. He's not. And if the point you're trying to make is that Congress blackballed Trump and didn't allow him to do anything, that's a great point. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Great job, Destiny, for figuring that one out. 1750.
More likely to vote that way than Republicans. He had no desire to make the election safe. He only wanted to make sure that the election was going to be won by him. When you talk about like big.
Okay, who's the guy who just walked behind Destiny? Is this his Asian boyfriend? What just happened there? Dude, you're on stream. Get it together.
He only wanted to make sure that the election was going to be won by him. When you talk.
What? Who? How old? What race? What is this? What are you doing? Are those look around the wrist? It's handcuffed. It was handcuffed. Check it out.
Desire to make the election safe. He only wanted to make sure that the election was going to be won by him.
What? Just going to get a tuna sandwich. Is that the guy from that porn video? Okay, so this next clip, Destiny's going to talk about freedoms again and talk about the real problem and who's really to blame for the suppressing of information and big tech and all this crap. All right, let's listen.
Are right-wing talking points. And if you talk about a threat to the freedom of tech, well, the biggest threat that was represented to tech was when conservatives wanted to bash Twitter and Facebook over the head with restricting their section or rescinding their Section 230 protections, which would have allowed you to sue essentially people that hosted other people's posts for things that those people posted. If you want to talk about destroying big tech or censoring big tech, removing Section 230 protections would have been the number one way to do it.
He laughs like he just made a fucking amazing point there. First of all, you mean the bipartisan bill you're talking about on both sides? Yeah, it was proposed. I think it was proposed by a Republican bitch, some dumb bitch. This is stupid, but they're all the same people, Destiny. You know this more than anyone, so stop lying to all of us. We're getting pissed off about it. Jeremiah, give me an amen.
To have them remove that tweet because he didn't like it. So if you want to talk about like big tech censorship or attempts to do so, we could talk about Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter.
I love the idea that a loosely conservative guy buys Twitter and now the system's rigged. The system's rigged against lefties, Democrats, liberals. It's rigged against them because Elon Musk, who doesn't want kids to cut off their dicks. That's the only way in which this guy is conservative, by the way. But it's not good enough for these guys. This is what I'm talking about. You push everyone more and more away from you guys until you got no one left and your logic doesn't make sense. Look at this. How is it rigged? I don't know. What about Google rigging everything? Google suppressing information on Trump. When you Google Donald Trump, only Kamala Harris references come up. What are they trying to do here? This person's trying to watch this video. President Donald Duck. I did this at the time. This was 100% true. They fixed the glitch now. And there are always glitches. There's no reports about this. No one investigates any of this. Nothing. It's just, oh, well, that happened. Oh, okay. We're all crazy, right? Let's check out this. Jeremiah, let's end the show here. We'll end the show with this clip. This clip rules.